What's going on YouTube? This is Tony Smith with a wire wrap tutorial for a Heady gemstone set ring. This is a stone we're going to be using. It's a blue apatite. And I've got some sterling silver 18 gauge and some 28 gauge as well. So to start, you're going to want to have 3 pieces of the 18 gauge cut to about 6 inches, and then you want to straighten them, get them as straight as possible. And for this pattern, we're going to start with about a yard of wire. Got my wire cutters. We're going to take one of these wires and we're going to start 3 weaves on it. And we're going to press it together just like that. Put one wire on top of it, then the other wire, and we're going to weave on this 3rd wire. So hold that first weave with your fingers, bring the wire through the bottom or below the bottom and then above it, below the middle. Go ahead and line it up with your last weave on the adjacent side, and then do it 2 more times. Now we're going to go across all 3. Just 2 times. And you want about that much room on the end of your wire. So we did 2, and now we're just going to switch off, doing 3 on the bottom and 3 on the top and 3 across all. There's 3 on the bottom. And we're going to continue to do this pattern until we fill up about 2 inches of this wire. So we'll have 2 inches on each end left over. And I'll be back when I finish that. Alright, welcome back. I'm about to the end of this weave where we did 3 weaves on top wire, then crossed over to the bottom, did 3 weaves down there, and then 2 weaves across. I said 3 earlier, but I meant to say 2. So then what I just want to do is make sure it's all nice and compressed. Alright, there it is. That's about long enough to go around my finger. And we're going to make a size 6. So to size this, find your mark. I like to put one end of the wire right there at the mark. And then with the other hand, as I bend, I push the wire towards the hand that's fixed. Switch hands. Alright, so once you're about right there, open up the wires on both sides, just like this. Take off the ring mandrel, and we're going to take this wire and we're going to cut it so that it sits right there. We can do the same to the other side, or if we want, we can leave it on and we'll start our weave with that. So I'm going to go ahead and do 3 extra because I'm going to do 3 extra over here as well once I start it. But for now, we're going to focus on these 2 inner wires and giving us a setting for our stone. So to do this, we're going to slide it back on to size 6. Hold it there with one hand. Push these 2 middle wires across and then bend the tops of them outward. If you got to move the other wires out of the way, go ahead. And you want to push it down just like that. Bring these wires out vertically. And we're going to leave it right there. So now we're going to have 2 wires going that way, and these wires are going to come this way. So we're going to go ahead and just bend those together, bend these together. Alright. So now that we're there, we're going to go ahead and do this weave right here. And I'm going to do the same pattern. I'm going to do 2 on the top wire, 2 on the bottom, then 2 across both. And I'm going to have these wires come together pretty close. So I'll show you how we're going to start it. We've already got those 3. So then bring it down through the middle and do 3 on the other side. And then when you're doing this part, you don't want to pull a whole lot because you'll pull the wires closer together. So you just want to kind of lay them right where they're supposed to go. And then for that bottom wire is where we're going to start now. 2, 3, top wire, and I came from the middle to the top wire, to the outside, to in between the 2 wires. 1, 2, 3, and across both of them, using my finger as a guide. Here's my 2. 2, 3, to the outside, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so this is where we're at, and as you can see, this wire is not going to finish this. So what I've done is I've wrapped it 3 times around this wire, and I'm going to remove the rest of the wire, making the cut on the inside. Then with my flat nose, I'm just going to gently twist. Just like that. We're going to get more wire. So I'm going to grab another yard and remove it from my spool. And I'm going to take this end, put it facing in on the wire that has no wrapping on it. With my other finger, I'm just going to hold it. and then do 3. Once I've got 3, I still want to maintain holding this wire because it's going to be loose for a while. Let's go ahead and do our 3 wraps, or 2 wraps across. So there's 2. So that's how you add wire when you ran out. And then we're continuing our weave with 3 on the bottom and then 3 wraps around the top. And I'm going to let this design right here go ahead and stay bent, but if you want it to be straight, go ahead and straighten it. Now at this point we can see that it's about long enough to go around the whole area and meet to this other side. But just so now I've got this nice long wrap done, which will for surely reach the other side. I'm going to go ahead and flatten all of this. And I'm going to remove that little tail that's poking out right there. Facing inward. Cool. Now I'm going to leave a little bit of tail on this side and start wrapping the other side. Now, starting with the bottom wire, doing 3 wraps, and make sure that this tail is on the inside. Another thing we can do with this tail is tie it around this wire a couple times. I didn't do that to the other side, but I'm going to do it to this side. That way it sits on the inside. Alright, we got those 3 wraps on the bottom. Now we're going to do 3 wraps on the top. And this is the same pattern we did to the other side. Then, so if you're looking at the outside, this is the outside. We're counting on that side for these wraps. So that's 1, and then that's 2. All right. And I'm working backwards, it feels like, but three on the bottom. Two, 3, 1, 2. I'm just going to bend these tips out a little bit to give me a little weaving gap. So 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom, 2 over both. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish this pattern and we'll pick up where I left off. Go ahead and flatten this. There we go. Continue on the bottom. Over both. No, sorry. Over the top. Alright, now that we've got weaves done on both sides, we can go ahead and make sure both of our wires are loose, our weaving wires. We're going to put the stone in here. Go ahead and put it back on the ring mandrel for this part. Now, you want to put your pliers in here, give it a nice twist. Pull these sides around. Alright, just like that. Now, start by bringing this bottom one over, just a smidge. And then this top one, push this wire in a little more. Bend those. We're going to get our stone, see if it fits. It's a little too small, so expand those. And that's where I'm going to kind of start by setting my stone in there. And then with these 2 middle wires, I'm going to keep them spiraling. One on the side, one kind of on top of the stone. It's kind of a simultaneous task. Got the top one done. I'm going to pull this wire around more. There we go. And I'm going to roll this end with my round nose. like that. Now we're laying this wire over like that. We're going to do the same to the top one. I'm curling and bending. Alright. Now that that's there, we can bring this through the middle and to the other side. And a good way to keep these wires from separating is to just angle them outward, away from each other. And I want this flat against there, so I'm just going to take my pliers and go like that. This one right here, this small little wire, pull that to this side. Oh, wait, never mind. Do this side next. Right now I'm pulling both wires, and I'm going to fill this gap right there. Right. Got this weaving wire right here. I'm bending one of these wires, the top wire, and sending it back through again. And just going to go right there. Got this small wire poking out still, and to tuck this, I'm going to just roll it. And take the flat nose, squeeze it in there. You can adjust your ring. We're going to put this wire through here. Pull that weaving wire out of the way. And I'm going to feed the weaving wire onto here. This is just one way you can finish your ends. If you don't want to tuck them, you want to have them outside. Go ahead and cut, leaving a little bit showing. Make sure it's twisted on there. And this one's going to get tucked right there. Just with the rolling pliers. Just roll it right on in there. And you can grab your flat nose, press it. Now it's in there. So I've got this wire right here. It's a little long, a little extra. Good way to end it, just clip it. and then roll it to the inside, like that. And so far so good. Stones in place. I'm gonna see what is up with this wire. It feels like it could be tightened. So I just pulled really hard on this wire to get it tightened. I really want to change the direction of it. So that it goes inside. Then I'll flatten it. And this is just how I want to do my ring. Kind of experimenting with new things all the time. But of course I could have just cut that and tucked it somewhere else. So my ring's almost done. And what makes it heady is definitely the custom design, freedom to make it your own. So I've wrapped that wire around there. Then I'm going to create this curl to go into a nice open area. And that part's done. I've still got this weaving wire which I can choose to use, which I think I will. I'm just gonna create a small coil. Pressing it in as I go. Alright. I am twisting this end. That way this coil is nice and tight. Cool. And I'm going to tuck it right in there. So, angle it. If you can, get in there, squeeze it. Now the final size, just twist. And there we are, size 6. That's my custom ring. And I hope this video was good for helping you figure out what you want to do with your smaller gemstones. This is something that does take quite a bit of practice, and you know, I'm still learning myself, but I like to share the knowledge. So if you like this tutorial, like and subscribe, leave me some feedback, let me know what you thought about the video, what you think about the ring, and yeah, thanks for watching. Till next time.